Hello everyone, and welcome to Insightful Gaming, your trusted source for all things Path of Exile 2. In today's video, I'll be walking you through the build I'm currently using. This build has helped me clear Act 1 with ease, and I'm nearly finished with Act 2, with no signs of slowing down. I've defeated every boss so far without any issues, and I truly believe this build is incredibly strong and, dare I say, overpowered. It's been an absolute blast to play. In this guide, I'll be covering everything in detail. We'll go over all the skills I'm using, their associated support gems, and how they work together to create synergy. I'll also share the armor and weapons I've chosen, and the passive tree pathing that ties the build together. At level 30, this setup has allowed me to dominate the early game, and it shows no signs of slowing down as I progress further. Let's dive in and unleash the full potential of this minion-based build. Starting with the skills, I recommend picking these up as early as they become available. These skills and their support gems will carry you smoothly through Acts 1 and 2, making leveling and boss fights a breeze. The first core skill in this build is Skeleton Warrior, which serves as our main tank minion. This skill is unlocked by equipping a scepter, which allows you to summon a skeletal warrior to fight by your side. I'm using the Mind Blow Rattling Spectre, which increases Spirit by 31%. Spirit is crucial in this build because it determines the maximum number of minions you can summon at once. Aim for a Spectre that boosts Spirit and scales Skeleton Warriors to your level. Skeleton Warriors are an essential part of this build at all stages. For support gems, I've linked Meat Shield, which increases the skeleton's life by 50%, making them much tankier at the cost of 35% less damage. This is a good trade-off, because their primary role is to tank enemies and protect you. I've also added Elemental Army, which provides a 30% boost to their elemental resistances, further increasing their durability. With these two support gems, your skeletons will easily soak up damage and keep enemies off you. Next, we're using Summon Infernal Hound, unlocked after completing the Infernalist Ascendancy in Act 2. You won't have access to this skill early, so I recommend completing the Ascendancy trial as soon as possible to unlock it. The Infernal Hound is a free-to-cast pet that doesn't cost any spirit, making it a reliable addition to your army. These hounds deal good damage, are tanky, and ignite enemies nearby. Ignite is an ailment that deals fire damage over time for 4 seconds. The hound also revives itself automatically after a short delay when killed, making it extremely resilient. The hound offers additional survivability by absorbing a portion of the damage you take. For support gems, I've linked Magnified Effect, which increases the fire area of effect by 40%, enabling the hound to ignite more enemies. I've also added Last Gasp, which keeps the hound alive for 4 additional seconds after its health reaches 0, ensuring you always have this powerful minion in play. For ranged support, I'm using Skeletal Sniper, which fires gas arrows that synergize beautifully with Ignite. When Ignite interacts with gas arrows, it triggers devastating explosions, dealing significant area damage. I've linked this skill with Corrosion, which causes gas bombs to drop from the sky, dealing poison damage and breaking enemy armor based on poison damage dealt. Gas bombs stack, shredding armor and amplifying incoming damage from both minions and spells. To enhance area coverage, I've added Scattershot, which reduces the archer's damage by 20% but allows them to fire 2 additional projectiles. This ensures your snipers hit multiple enemies simultaneously, maximizing their effectiveness. Now let's talk about Raise Zombie, which summons up to 10 tanky zombies with a 20-second duration. These zombies are incredibly durable and deal solid damage. I've linked this skill with Perpetual Charge, which gives a 35% chance to not consume charges when summoning zombies, ensuring more uptime. I'm also using Minion Instability, one of my favorite support gems for zombies. When their health drops below 35%, they explode, dealing 15% of their maximum life as fire damage to nearby enemies. With 10 zombies in play, this creates massive area damage when they start falling. For additional offense, I'm running Raging Spirits, which summons up to 10 short-lived flaming skulls. These spirits deal a mix of physical and fire damage, converting 70% of their physical damage to fire. For support, I've linked Fire Infusion, which boosts their fire damage by 25%, and Ignition, which guarantees a 100% chance to ignite enemies. The synergy between these raging spirits and your other fire-based minions is excellent for clearing mobs and focusing down bosses. To further bolster our offense, I'm using Flame Wall, a utility skill that creates a wall of fire, igniting enemies and amplifying projectile damage when fired through it. I mainly use this skill to summon raging spirits. For support gems, I've linked Fortress, which transforms the flame wall into a circular area, focusing damage within its radius. This makes it easier to control the battlefield and maximize fire damage output. We're also using Pain Offering, a fantastic skill that impales a skeleton on a bone spike, sending all nearby minions into a frenzy as long as the spike remains. While frenzied, your minions use their skills faster and deal significantly more damage. This skill empowers your zombies, archers, skeleton warriors, raging spirits, and infernal hound, giving them a substantial 25% boost to attack speed and making them even deadlier on the battlefield. Our primary nuke skill is Bone Storm, a powerful ability that channels to summon a swarm of bone spikes. These spikes rain down and explode, dealing heavy area damage. I've linked this skill with Minion Pact, which sacrifices a portion of your minion's life to increase Bone Storm's damage by 40%. With so many minions constantly being summoned, you'll always benefit from this boost. I've also added Encumbrance, which enhances the slowing effect of Bone Storm by 15%, helping control enemy movement. For debuffing enemies, I'm using Vulnerability, a curse that reduces armor and increases damage taken. I've linked it with Decaying Hex, which adds chaos damage over time, and Impending Doom, which causes an explosion when the curse expires. This combination is especially effective against high armor enemies. Finally, I've included Unearth, which damages enemies while summoning short-lived bone constructs. These minions fight for you and provide consistent utility. For support gems, I've added Deep Freeze, which gives a 50% chance to freeze enemies, and Overabundance, which further enhances its utility. When it comes to gear, focus on items that increase spirit, as this directly determines how many minions you can summon. Look for gear that provides intelligence, cast speed, maximum life, and mana. Defensive stats like armor, resistances, and life recovery on kill are also crucial. Your Spectre should have minion-specific bonuses, such as increased spirit or scaling for skeleton warriors. For your passive tree, prioritize nodes that increase minion damage, minion life, and minion survivability. Boost attack and cast speed, as well as area of effect to enhance your skills. Attribute nodes like strength and dexterity can be picked up as needed for gear requirements. Lastly, consider cooldown recovery nodes to ensure smooth skill rotations. And that's the build. This setup is beginner-friendly, powerful, and a ton of fun to play. Whether you're crushing packs with Bone Storm, tanking with skeleton warriors, or melting enemies with Ignite combos, this build has it all. If you found this guide helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, Exiles, keep your minions fighting and your enemies fleeing.